Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Paul from the Money Mob. I have today's guest. I've known this brother for a little while. This is the brother who actually produced this and that. And I want to introduce him. He is the founder of a branded merchandise business, Merch Masters. And as I said, welcome, Mr. Kieza De Sousa. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. My pleasure.
How's things going?
I've been all right, to be fair. Just been cracking on, keeping my head down, doing what needs to be done.
Good. And generally, how is the business going? Especially, with this situation happening at this time, how is it going?
There's a little bit of turbulence when the whole sort of lockdown situation came into effect. You know, it did kind of disrupt the supply chain a little bit, and people weren't really sure about ordering stuff and getting it done. But what I've seen sort of coming out of April into May, things have pretty much just snapped back to almost normal for in my line of business. And we've had a really good month this month. So things are pretty good. I mean, things are still moving. The supply chain slowed down a little bit than we used to, but people are still buying clothes and merchandise, so it's good for us all around.
Oh, fantastic. So the transition to the kind of, formal way of kind of doing business, people face to face, to the online scenario, or much more emphasis on the online scenario. Was it a major factor to yourself, I suppose, because you're...
Not really, because we've been an online company from pretty much the beginning anyway. The only thing we haven't really been able to do was the in-person consultations, because sometimes people did like to come down and meet with the member of the team and discuss things that they want to have done and things like that. But most of what we do is online. Like most of the products that we produce, I actually don't physically see or touch them ever anyway. And it's been like that for years. So I've been fortunate that I've kind of had a business model that allowed me to easily adapt to the situation anyway, because it's not been so heavily reliant on physically having to meet with customers all of the time. It's not been that big of a deal for us. We do still get people that want to, come down and meet someone, etc. And for now, we're just saying, not right now, but it is a aspect of the business that we do want to bring back, because we know that it's just like going shopping. I don't really like online clothes shopping. I like to go to the store and feel and try on the products, things like that. I know some people are just like that. So, But yeah, it's not really affected us too badly, to be fair. We're well adapted for it already.
Fantastic. Okay, so I mean, you've been going for a while, but I mean, first things first. I mean, what was the inspiration behind your business model?
What it is that, so I've been in sort of textile printing, design, merchandise for coming up to 11 years now. And I was really young when I started.
What? It'd probably be better. Probably the best question is to ask is, okay, what is your business generally? Then at least let the viewers know exactly what your business is.
Yeah, sure. So my business is called Merch Masters, and we're a merchandise agency that helps people to start and grow their clothing and merchandise businesses. We started off particularly doing the production side of things, so print, embroidery. Now then we moved on to bespoke manufacturing, so we can make clothes from scratch with your own bespoke designs. But now we're sort of more of an agency, so we can help you with designing your products, getting them produced, taking the photographs and creating promotional content for them, and then building and running a website so that you can sell your products online to your customers. So essentially, giving people like a turnkey solution for starting up their clothing brand with guidance from people who are on my team that have been there before and walked the path before them. And the reason I started the business, this particular one, it was actually there was a few things. It was one, I've always been interested in creative industries anyway, and I found that this was a good route to sort of express that. I had a similar business to this before, but that one didn't go so well. So I took all the lessons I learned from that business and put it into this one, which is, now it's been around nearly 3 years, and we're doing pretty well. But also because in my decade in the industry, I noticed that there was really a lack of support, guidance, tools, frameworks for people whose goal it is to start and build a clothing business. So most of my customers are people that want to sell a clothing product. And the production part is only a part of that. And the problem that I found was that these people that will come into the clothing industry, they want to start something up. They are just not getting the guidance, the tools, the thinking that is necessary for the whole picture. So I figured, if we're the company that you come to that has all of that in one place, it should make it easier for our customers and should differentiate us from the marketplace. Because if you can come to us and we can help you with the design bit, with with sourcing the right fabrics, the right production methods, the right suppliers, with creating promotional content that's ultimately going to get you noticed, and with running the operation of actually selling your products online and getting it into your customers' hands. If we can help you with everything toward your ultimate goal, which is to sell a clothing product and have a successful business, rather than just, we print 50 t-shirts for you and you're on your way, that creates a different relationship with our customers. And
of course,
that's where we want to be.
Okay. So, I think you've already answered my second question, was that when it was created. So, basically, what's the philosophy of Merch Masters?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Can't say I've thought of it specifically in that way, but when you ask it, I think our philosophy is, it's all about creative freedom, growth, and excellence in all we do, really. I think that's what kind of the value that I'm imparting into the Merch Masters brand, because we want people to know. For instance, even with the people that are on the team, I'm not it's interesting that it's a conversation now, but even from earlier on, I didn't want it to be a situation where, you have to be in an office Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, the hours that I say, and I'm going to look over your shoulder and check over everything that you're doing. No, I want people on my team who they have the freedom to work, to be flexible in a way that allows them to do their best work. I want my customers to have the freedom of being able to create whichever products they want in whichever way they want. Right. So a lot of our companies, they have limitations on what kind of products you can do, and we can only print in this way, we can only embroider in that way, and we go more towards there's not much you can think of that we can't do, because we want you to be able to think of something creatively and be able to, through us, express it in that way in the real world, and just doing things properly as well. We've got procedures in place and sort of certain principles that we stick to that allow us to do a good job. So, when it comes to placing an order with us, we do samples all the time. So to make sure people are happy with their products before we do the rest of them. A lot of other companies, you go to them, you order 100 shirts, they're just like, okay, yep, we'll slap it on the press. You don't see a sample, you don't see a preview, you don't see anything. And then you got the risk of, a bunch of items showing up at your door, not looking the way that they're supposed to. Whereas we handle all of that. We do specifications, measurements, documentation, sampling, make sure customers are happy. And continuously improving with that as well. So I suppose, those would be kind of our values: freedom, excellence. Those sorts of things. Okay.
And you've kind of answered going into my the next kind of question, because obviously, as I said, for the Money Mob, you are our main Money Mob branding people that we go to, and we've had t-shirts done. We've done baseball cap. We've had tote bags and what have you. What other products? Give a little bit the viewers the scope of the other products that you also do branded merchandise for.
We do a whole lot. So it would be t-shirts, sweaters, hoodies, caps, pin badges, backpacks, socks, key ring chains, just loads of stuff, phone cases, We mostly focus on the clothing, but we can do other accessories as well.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, the merchandise wise, I mean, if you can think it, there's a good chance we can get it done.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good. All right. And
Chance. I'm not going to say we can do everything, but there's a lot of stuff we can do. So
okay.
yeah.
Now, also, I'm going through your website. You also talk about doing photography sessions in regards to the branding, and also you have branding strategy sessions for clients as well. What's that? Give us an idea of that offering.
So the strategy calls are they're basically just free consultations that we're doing at the moment.
Right.
And that's just to kind of delve into the customer or the prospect's business and kind of understand where they're at, see what the sort of biggest problems is that they want to solve, or the goals that they have, and then think of ways, or at least make suggestions on how to get there, really. So yeah, I mean, I recognize that, especially when people are just finding a new supplier to go to, they have a lot of questions when they're at the startup phase. And I think it's just helpful for people to get on the phone with someone who knows what they're talking about and can kind of give them that guidance. So often it's really informal. I had a good chat with someone recently who's pretty well known in the community. Yeah, we just had a chat about translating his idea into a business and all the things that come with it, all the stages that come to it. So, started off with the designs first, then getting it produced, then getting it photographed. Had a look at some of his ideas that he had, gave him some feedback and support, and just had a general chit chat. So, yeah, that's what that really is. So that people can get to know us as well, so that we can understand whatever issue it is that they're facing at the time. And even if on those strategy sessions, there's no obligation to then come back and say, yeah, I'm going to use you. They might go off and use someone else to do their stuff. That's their game. But we do those because it's just helpful for people.
Okay, fantastic.
So that's what that is.
Okay. So, I mean, as I said, you've been in the business for at least more than 10 years. And then, as I said, and I know you anyway as someone who is, in a very kind of have a very keen business mind. I wanted to just, glean from yourself a few tips for people who are looking to start a business.
I would say one of the first ones is really understand your customer and the problem you solve for them. So take time speaking to people who it is that you have a particular solution for. So whether that's, let's say, you're a fitness expert to lose weight, or a nutritional expert, or whatever it is, right? And you've got these skills and knowledge, so you've got something that you know how to do very, very well, and you want to help other people with it. You've got to understand what their relationship to that problem is. So, for instance, if it is health and fitness, particularly helping people to lose weight, really understand what's their motivation behind wanting to do that. What the barriers from doing that? What would make it easier to help them to take the steps to change their lifestyle? And then how can you create a product or a service or a package of some sort that will solve all of those problems for them at a price that they. When you can really understand where people are at in terms of their relation to the problem that you solve and the desire for it, then it puts you in a far better position to be able to create solutions that actually matter to them and that they will actually buy at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's what I say. Figure out who your customer is, what problem they have, and listen to them. Spend a lot of time talking to people. In the beginning, you'd be surprised, right? You can talk to 50 people. Now, anyone can do this. You can look at, okay, what's my top 3 skills and things that I'm passionate about helping people with? And then you can speak to 50 people over the course of the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it's going to be, right? And over those 50 conversations, you'll start to see a pattern emerge. Okay, this is like thing that they tend to have a problem with when it comes to this sort of thing. And then in the middle of some of those conversations, you can even make up a solution right there and then and go, okay, so if I could do this for you, what would that be worth to you?
Mm-hmm.
And for that, what would that mean for you going forward? And then on the spot, you might end up just going with someone, do you know what? That's a really good idea. There's a deal. Help me to do this weight loss program that you're making or going to make, and I'll pay you X amount. But listening to people, you will figure out what the solution is going to be. So I'd say that's one of my biggest tips for anyone starting out.
Fantastic. Okay. And my last question really is, where can people contact yourselves? Where can people contact Merch Masters?
The best way to get in touch with us is through the website. So if you go to www.merchmasters.co.uk, and then you can navigate around there. There's a contact us page. So if you want to start a project with us, you can do that. If you just want to book a consultation, you can do that. If you just need a general inquiry, you can make a general inquiry as well. But that would be the best way to get in touch with us. You can also follow us on Instagram. So we're at Merchmasters UK on Instagram. A lot of people do send us messages and DMs, and honestly, we do get a lot. So when we do get a chance to go through them, we usually just recommend people just book an appointment or go through the website. But if you want to see some content on it that would be useful for you and your brand, and quite educational as well, then Instagram's a good place to go for the content too. But if you want to contact us, definitely go to the website.
Okay. And the last thing, plans for the future?
So it's quite a few things. I mean, first and foremost, we're just kind of building a stable team at the moment. We want to have, multiple facilities and in terms of production that we're employ sort of local people, younger people, get them into some work experience, and then running our brand launch program as well. So we kind of soft launched like an online to show people how to launch their brand earlier this year, which we tested and there's a demand for. But in the near future, sort of second half of this year, we're going to be pushing that quite a bit more. So yeah, having our own facilities, being able to employ more young people, and then running this educational program to show people how to start and launch their own brand.
Okay, fantastic. It sounds beautiful. All right, and well, Kieza, thank you very, very much. Kieza? Oh.
Yeah, I've got you back now. Yeah, I lost you there for a second.
All right, no problem. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. And as hopefully we will, well, I know we will definitely be speaking soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. I hope you've got a little bit more insight into what we do, and hopefully some of my tips have been helpful for people starting out as well.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to